Stronger than the one that came and laid down his life. And I got mountains to climb, but the enemy can't stop me, cause there's a calling on my life. So when I'm crying, don't last too long, cause he gon' step in and make it alright. Won't he do it? He said he would. Fight your battles for you, they gon' wonder how you sleep at night.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Inspired with Shika My'Chelle show. I am your host, Shika My'Chelle, founder and CEO of 501c3 nonprofit organization, Beautifully Unique Incorporated, and owner and CEO of inspirational brand Inspired by Shika My'Chelle. I'd like to welcome our second Testimonial Tuesday guest, the amazingly talented singer and choreographer, Jermaine Lynell.
Hello, people.
Though you and I go back way back.
Right.
way back. It's an absolute honor to have you here. I know, it was a struggle to get here. And because I know you, I knew when you was pulling back, like, yeah, I'm really not going to show up. I know you. Right. But because I know you, I knew it was important for me to stay on you because I know how important it is for you to be able to share your testimony.
Right, exactly.
I've always seen you as a bright light, and you know that. I think that you are amazingly talented, and the oil that is on you is simply amazing. So for me, I'm like, nah, the big sister in me was like, well, he gonna do this show. That means I gotta show up at his door. He gonna do this show. But I know you. But it's important for me that our amazing viewers get to know you. So I want to allow you to take a moment to tell people, who are you? Who are you? Where you from? What do you do? And just breathe, because it's brother-sister time.
Yeah. I was just telling her that. I was like, I have to realize it's the conversation with my sister. That's all it is.
That's
but,
right.
But I am Jermaine Lynell. Who I am, it's funny. I saw this in like the pre-production questions. I was like, I'm someone who's still learning who I am, discovering who I am. I remember when I was like 21, I was like, I know who I am, very self-assured. And I was like, at 25, I was like, that's not who I am. But I am a singer and a choreographer. And I've been performing all my life, and I know that is what I am and who I am and what I love to do. As far as the things I've been through and still going through and still coming out of, I'm still discovering more sides of me, more facets of who I am. So I'm still a work in progress, as we all are. But I'm very proud of that.
Was one of the most honest things that has been said on this set. Who are you? I think that question alone, if we really sit down with it and try to dig into who we are, when somebody asks us that question, it's a loaded question. Who am I, or who do you think I am?
Right. Yeah.
And that's exactly it. It's difficult even for me. When somebody's like, well, who are you? I'm like, I don't know. Nas's mama.
Right.
Myrtle's daughter. A child of God.
Amen.
Outside there, I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You lose a piece of that identity. And I think as we grow, sometimes.
Look, I ain't gonna lie.
We are live. We are absolutely live, and these are the things that happen when you live. It's hot up under these lights. This is a whole nother setup, so excuse us in advance. There's a lot of things that are happening here. Church Talk Radio, great things. A lot of moving parts. We working through it all, and we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna ask you, because you are a singer, you are a dancer, you are Mr. Choreographer. So I'm gonna go back, because singing is where it first.
Yeah, well, you first like.
Yeah, I said who? So I want to know, what got you into music?
What got me into music? It was just it was an outlet. It was something that kind of like just took over me, honestly. It was something that, someone put the music on. My mother would tell me, like, you would like feel an emotion. Like, I remember Puff the Magic Dragon. I remember being like 4 and crying, hearing the melody, like, it sounds so nice. Like, when melody moves you at 3 and 4 years old, that's when something's really on you when it comes to the music thing. So music is just always a part of me. I love just hearing great singers and great music. And then that, the love for music in it transformed into dance, because I remember when I was like 3 years old, my mother said when I was about 3, she put MTV on and she cleaned the entire house, and I was just there, stuck the whole time, like just dancing and just in front of the TV. And she was just like, that's what she knew, like music was just taking over me. So yeah.
You are definitely an arts kid. You are all things art, and I think that's what really connected me to you, because I'm an arts baby. I love, and those that don't know this young man, I remember walking into your room the first time, and the posters, I mean, forget wallpaper. There was no wallpaper. You didn't even know what color his walls were, because it was filled with posters from different artists. You even had the Destiny Child dolls.
Oh, yes. Still do. Don't judge.
Don't judge. This is a judgment-free zone.
Exactly.
But
and they were a gift. I was like, really? I was like, okay.
For me,
I wouldn't buy them, but I was like, okay, thank you. You know.
But you were a diehard. Destiny Child, Aaliyah.
Yes.
I remember that early on. But that's why I'm excited that you're here, because this doesn't feel like work. It's like we're just sitting here in my living room. Yeah. Having a conversation. It's a little bright in my living room. It might be more like my new living room.
Exactly. Come on now.
Very bright. Yes. Need a little shade. You know. Take some pictures though. I don't know what this is coming out on the screen, but
shiny people. Just hit my inbox and if I'm shiny.
Don't hit our inbox. Just work with us and just go with us. Yeah. Now I know you moved from singing to dance and choreography. I'm gonna ask this question, which wasn't pre-production, but what's the difference for you? Like, I know when it comes to singing, that definitely it pulls something different from you. But for you, what's the difference between singing and what you do as the dancer?
As far as the singing, honestly, because I just really started getting heavy back into singing, I can get lost in time with singing. You know, even if if I'm not feeling something that day, I can sing and just go for hours and hours and hours. Like I think 2 weeks ago I did about 9 hours worth of singing. Throat was fried afterwards, but I just felt so free and it released so much in me. With the dancing, I think because I'm just a natural like show guy. I love the entertainment and I love how people react. I love how my dancers react when I choreograph something, or I love how the audience reacts, like when I perform and seeing how they respond to it. And people come up and say, "I want to dance now. Are you gonna teach me?" And I'm just like, that's the part that I live for, because I think I've always loved to dance, but I think once I started putting myself out there and just like starting my own productions and doing my own shows, it really just sparked something else in me. Like, okay, I can do this, and this is like something I really enjoy. So
because you're just dope.
Thank you.
I'm such a fan. If you guys have not noticed, I am such a fan. I don't even know when we met. You were still a little booger. You were
12,
still a
13.
little booger when we met, and I just saw this thing in you, and I'm like, what is he doing with it? But I think a little bit of what I saw in you was what I saw in myself, the runner.
Right.
You know, so afraid of, but the difference is you enjoy the spotlight.
Right.
Whereas I am the one that absolutely shies away from the spotlight. So for me to sit on this platform every Tuesday,
I'm proud of you for that.
It's so unlikely.
I was watching the show, and you always say you're such a natural. I'm watching the show like, you're a natural. What do you mean? Like, you're so good at this. And it's just a conversation. That's what it is.
That's what, when you create a platform like this, I thank God for choosing me. And I ran for a while, because those that have followed me for a little while know that I came off of another platform. And it was fun while it lasted.
Right.
But when you know that God is calling you to do something else, you can't continue to play.
Exactly. You gotta walk in that.
You have to. You have to. And I enjoyed what that was for that season.
For that moment, yeah.
But it was fun. We enjoyed ourselves. But I knew that my brand is way deeper than that, and it's about encouraging and inspiring people. And when you sit and you feel like every week what you're saying is really not
touching
serving
people.
a purpose.
So, yeah. Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is fun, but are any yolks being broken?
Exactly.
Is anyone changing? Is it sparking something in someone to make them feel like,
I never thought about it like that before, or
like for you as a singer, like, because we've sang, and this for me is just another side of Shika My'Chelle.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the outlet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the outlet. Yeah. It's the most challenging. I can say that.
Okay.
It's the most challenging because it's forcing me to sit here. Everything else.
And be in the spotlight, but you try to, so much come away from. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I enjoy it because it allows me to open up and have people come on this platform that may not necessarily get that exposure, may not necessarily be able to tell their story, or may be afraid to tell their story, but because they know me personally and know I'm Mama Bear, I'm never going to push you to expose anything about yourself that you don't want to speak about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is a safe zone. But that's what I love about this, is being able to have people like yourself on that have done so many things. And I've watched you for so long, the ups and downs and the good and the bad, but the oil on you, I'm just like, this boy is still fighting. He's still fighting. He's still fighting. And when he says that he sang for 9 hours, I don't know, you might not believe it at home, but let me tell you something. Somebody stayed at my house one night. And every few minutes he was in the bathroom, and not going to the bathroom. Let's be clear. He is singing at the top of his lungs into his phone. But you can't even get mad at that when you identify with that. When the spirit moves, you got to move with it.
Yeah. Because I remember not moving with it. It's like, woo, you fight against that current, boy. It's
you
got
to get it.
And get on it. Yeah.
Now I know that you I wanna go somewhere with this so we can take this back. Last week you did your first performance in 8 years.
Woo, boy, someone got me out of retirement, huh?
Jesus. Why so long?
8 years. It's funny, until I actually went to my first rehearsal and walked on the stage and they started clicking on the lights and all the stuff. I'm looking around like, oh, wow. That's when someone told me, like, it's been a while since you've done this. And I was like, well, I just thought, like, I just took a break, not realizing it was almost a decade. So what took so long, I think I just kind of, my last show, it was a lot of stuff surrounding my last show. A lot of drama, a lot of good times and bad times. But at the end of the show, I knew, like, this is going to be it for a while. Once again, didn't expect 8 years, but I just took a break. I was in a relationship for a while that didn't work out. I went through some things with some friends, just lived life, because I think I spent so much of my time in the arts, like with just the music, and so much that I was just always consumed, and I didn't really know what friendships and what relationships basically wanted me for. Well, can he write this? Can he sing this? Can he perform here? Can he do this? So I was just like, let me step away from all that for a minute and just live life. And like I said, I think I just got so caught up with life, period, and just kind of, I didn't want to say put it to the side, because I was still, like, even last year I auditioned for Janet Jackson. Like, I have that stuff out there. Like, I was moving and shaking, just weren't and choreographing for other artists here and there, local artists and things like that. But I wasn't performing. So I think there was like an alumni thing at my old high school that was put together recently, and one of my old dancers, she came to me and like handpicked me, like, if I'm gonna do this, you're gonna choreograph it. So I was like, okay. So that's basically where it came from, and I was happy she did it, because at first I didn't realize it took so long for me to get back out there. So having her do that and going to see the other alumni and other people that were a part of it, it was refreshing, and it re-sparked that for me. So I'm actually looking now, like, after 8 years, I need to make up for that 8 years now, like, get out there. But I'm excited. I'm happy I did it, and I'm grateful for her. Mariana, shout out to you. I'm happy that she pulled me out of that, I won't say 8 year slump, but out of that retirement is what I called it.
I think sometimes we don't realize that 8 years. Why? And it doesn't feel like it's so long, because sometimes we get so consumed with other things. And when you realize that was the thing that was sustaining us in the first place.
Exactly.
So when you remove that, it's almost as if you've lost a part of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I think I did lose a part of myself.
And you find yourself lost. Like, okay, because that's that thing that fuels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It moves all the other crap out of the way, you know, and once you don't have that, it's like you're constantly, you know, because Shika knows I've been through a whirlwind of mess, even in this last, even 2 years, you know, so in the last 8 years is when a lot of it really came crashing down. And I think it could have been, nonchalantly, not really knowing that was the thing that was always saving me not doing it. I think that's what kind of brought along a lot of these things that, you know, that happened. So,
and I think, because when you're rooted in God, and I'm not going to say rooted in a church per se, but when you're rooted in God, mm-hmm. and He has blessed you with so much, the downside to that is, as you said, and I can so relate, is not knowing who's really there for you as the individual versus who's there based on what you can do for them.
Yeah.
And that starts to take a toll on you because you start to now doubt yourself and question yourself because when you have a beautiful heart, like we do, and we're just givers, it makes it very difficult to see people sometimes clear because you want to believe the best in people, because that's my intentions are pure.
Exactly.
So how come if my intentions are pure, your intentions are not pure? Like I don't even understand how you could be this person. So I completely understand, but you know how it has been for me with singing, and I haven't sang like in a minute. It's been a while, but it became one of those things that I felt like my gift was being used for somebody else's gain. It wasn't for His glory. And it wasn't even that it was about me. Like I was making it about me. It was that other people were making it about them.
Exactly.
And that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth where you're like, okay, I really don't want any parts of this.
Yeah.
But realizing that when we remove that thing that we know we've been called to do, it creates a whole lot of chaos, and we start to spiral.
It leaves that the door open for other kind of energies and spirits and all kind of things just to fill that void, and that's where it gets kind of icky right there. So
little icky, but I want to touch on this because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, which is another reason why I'm just really happy that you're here. And he chose his date, you guys. Somebody has a birthday coming up.
Yes, that's Friday.
Somebody has a birthday coming up, so I'm gonna need y'all to write happy birthday up in the comment section on this and give him his birthday shout outs. But 10 years ago, you were diagnosed with ADHD and Tourette's. What was that like?
Actually, it wasn't 10 years ago. I was 10 years old.
You were 10 years old. 10 years old.
But what was that like at 10? Feeling, excuse me, different, and knowing I was already different because I was like that child. I was like, so but just always just bouncing off every wall I could. Like, oh well, let's bounce off that. But having that stamp of approval of like, yeah, he's different or crazy or something. It was something I had to come to terms with, and then also kind of like look at myself, in a deeper way than I thought I had to. At 10, everyone's just like, oh, he's 10, he's a child, he's just, but at 10, I just was like, I had to go with the flow of things and like, put it on different medications and like to calm him down. Some didn't calm me down, some just knocked me out, so it was just like, I don't know, it doubted me. It put doubt in me as a child that maybe I was just a bad kid. Maybe I wasn't doing things right. And I don't know, I think around maybe 12 or 13, after dealing with it for like 2 years, I was like, I can control this. I can work with this, or I can just know how to handle my behaviors in regards to it. And I stopped looking at myself as like, oh, like he's crazy, he's this, he's that. And also stopped playing into the hand that was dealt when it came to that. Because I found myself even like, when I would feel a certain way, I would get upset. I'm like, well, I'm crazy anyway, so let's get crazy. Let's flip the table. Let's do this. Let's, act out. Let's be a crazy housewife, Let's be a basketball wife right now, So just like,
Teresa,
shaking the table. So I stopped playing into that role because I feel like that was what was expected of me. So now if I'm in school and they're reading my, information and it's like, oh, ADD, ADHD and Tourette's or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, how you doing? Good morning, shaking hands and being stern and looking people in the eye when I speak to them and not being nervous or being what someone may have expected when you read my file. It was totally mind-blowing for the people. And after a while, I stopped going to that special little school on the small bus and went back to my regular high school. My people that I grew up with, they were like, where were you the last 4 years? And it's like, relax, I'm back now. And still working through things. Everything still wasn't perfect, but I learned how to maneuver and how to not let even those labels define who I was because of what the textbook said. At 14, I told my mother, I'm not going to take any more medication. I'm not going to any more therapists in regards to what my file says in school. A lot of things say I was born in 85 stay alive. So I think in that time, they just put a lot of our, age range, age group on that list of like, oh, he's hyper, she's hyper, ADHD. Yeah, they got this. The Tourette's thing was never even me like, just blurting stuff out. I would be literally writing songs in my head and we'd be in class like, oh, just excited because I just put together like a verse in my head and didn't even write it down. Like, it was that kind of creativity. I think I was kind of before my time when it came to that. And I think they just didn't really know how to categorize that, but they had to categorize it as something.
I was just getting ready to say that, and this is not taken away from those that have been diagnosed with ADHD.
Right.
But in knowing you personally, I think that when you're something that people are not used to, they have to find something to label you as. And you've always been a creative being.
Right.
And for me, like, I'm not a classroom kid.
Right.
I'm a hands-on kid.
Exactly.
Like, I need to be touching something. I need to be doing something. That's me. I'm not sitting in a classroom and you talk to me all day. I can't do that. That's it. You'll be talking to me and you're like, what information did you retain? And I'm like, huh? What's for lunch? I don't know. Is it lunchtime yet? Right. But I think in knowing you and having had the pleasure of watching you grow, you've always been just a creative being, and that was always your outlet. So it wasn't necessarily you were a hyper kid. That was what stimulated you. That's what moved you. And if at that time, now, there's so many different, avenues, because now, with ADHD, we're more informed on things. But even in spectrums, with kids, we can identify things like, okay, maybe he just needed to be put in dance or music or something like that. Whereas back then they didn't really have that avenue or those things in place. And again, it's not taken away from, anybody that's been diagnosed with that or anything of that nature. But sometimes, you have to step in and say, okay, well, you were different. Right. But different is not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Different.
And I think that's the problem, now versus then. For me, there were things that I grew up under that I vowed never to be or never to do. Yeah. Just because you know what that makes you feel like or what that made you feel like.
Exactly.
When my son was growing up, Nas couldn't use words like fat and ugly and things of that nature. Because those were just terrible words. There's nothing powerful about using those words to describe someone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
And from the time he was younger, it was my mission to make sure that he knew, words do hurt. My parents were liars when they said words don't hurt. The devil is a lie.
It's a lie.
They do. They absolutely do. And that's why you have to be careful with what comes out your mouth.
Power of the tongue is serious.
But when you tell a child at 10, that, oh, you're crazy. And it's kind of like, well, because that taps into the word curse. Because that's what you told me. Right. And because I don't know myself yet. And all I know is what it is that you're telling me. Because I'm relying on you for validation.
Yeah, because of course, like you're the grown-up, you're the parent, you're the teacher, you're
the teacher, you're the principal, you're the doctor, you're whomever. Exactly. You're the trusted adult. And this is what you told me. And because I don't know self yet, I'm going to take that as what it is. And I think we have to be really, really careful now because first of all, we have Google.
down.
Okay, we have Google. Back then it was encyclopedias and a whole lot of prayer because that was about it. It wasn't even computers that had internet back then where you could, research for yourself. But things have since changed, and you have to be careful that even if you have a child that is quote unquote different, that whether it be ADHD or any other thing that has been attached to them, their mental or whatever the case is, it's important for you to always ensure that that child never feels different. That this may be what they've had to walk through, but that's not what defines them.
Exactly, it's not who they are.
Absolutely, and I love that you tapped into that because times are so different. But again, with you being here and this being your reality, you now get to pour into somebody else that may not get it, that has walked the walk, and they're sitting at home like, I feel crazy. I don't feel worthy. I feel stupid because these are the negative connotations that comes with being labeled.
Patient.
Even children that are sitting in special ed. For behavioral problems, not because they can't learn, but because they learn differently. But because they need extra stimulation in different areas. Like, okay, math is not my forte.
Mine either.
So here it is. I'm gonna flip tables and throw crayons and pencils and stuff. Not me myself.
Right.
I've been delivered.
Right. Hallelujah.
But when you don't understand, and because of those word curses and the things that are being said in your ear, and you're not in a place where you can
like detach from that or something.
Or even express yourself properly, it becomes anger.
Most definitely.
It becomes anger because we're confused. We're confused, we're scared, we're frustrated, we feel misunderstood. So since, like you said, this is what you said I am.
Right.
Then I'm going to show you. This is exactly what it is.
Because even when I came back, when I was saying I went back to my old high school. Well, when I went into high school, I was back with my old classmates from like 5th grade and things like that. I was in a special ed class still. I still had to go back and be in special ed for math, go figure, because it wasn't my strongest subject. So it's like, I still needed a little extra help. As time went on, by my 11th, 12th grade year, like I was just back in regular classes and everything was cool. But it was like, I didn't shy away from that, and some kids were like, well, what teacher is that? I'm like, oh, it's math. Oh, I don't have her. Oh, she's a special ed. That's fine, go over there. That's, and I'll see you at lunch or something, So I still, and it was easier to deal with it then because I was more aware. I knew better ways to handle it as opposed to if it was right before I went to that other school, I would have been like, yeah, I'm a special ed. Why? And then, like I said, you're playing into that role and then you start to act out and give the people what they're looking for, what they want, or what they expect of you, So, just growth at the end of the day is what it was.
I'm going to jump somewhere else because I'm going to ask you this question. I hope you're prepared. We're not going to cry, but I'm going to ask you this question anyway. If the you now, if the you now could talk to your younger self, especially with a birthday coming up.
Yes.
If the you now could talk to your younger self, or even to yourself 2 years ago, if you want to go there, because the you from 2 years ago is not even the you that's sitting here next to me.
Exactly.
So whether you talking to the younger you or the you from 2 years ago, what would you say to him?
I would say to both of them to get back into prayer, because I stopped believing in a lot of things and a lot of people, and stopped believing in myself as well. 2 years ago and the younger me, So I would say, don't doubt yourself. Get back into prayer. Pray hard. Don't go to your friends. Don't go to your family. Go to God. Because that was the one thing I think I did. I just separated myself from all. And I'm so spiritually inclined. Like right now, between numbers and feelings and signs that I just get from God, just thankful for that. It was getting him then, but was in my own way. And it was choosing man or flesh or whatever to try and find the answer and not going into what I was already like, just like you said, the oil I have on me. And sometimes you forget, especially when you're so consumed, when you see one like relationship ending, fights with your best friend, losing jobs, like everything. You just feel like, what's next? And you kind of expect the bad to happen. But I would just say, like I said again, just pray more. More than anything, I would just say that to the younger me, and say that to who I was 2 years ago, and just pray more and keep your faith. I remember telling people, like, I have no faith. I don't have faith in anything, in myself or anybody. And it would say, well, go to church. And I'm like, for what? Like literally lost, and had to go through everything, like everything I went through in the last 2 years. And I'm like, I won't get too deep, but I mean, between drugs and jail and everything, like I went through it. And I think I had to go through it to realize, like, look what you're blessed with. Look what can happen once you get out of your own way and really let God just move you or move with you. Because I think a lot of the situations I was put in, I put myself in, and I went through my teens and my 20s doing, not so many great things, but to be in my early 30s thinking I'm going to try this and let's try that. And it was not the wave at all. And I realized that I think it was just an escape at the end of the day, but I escaped the wrong way. As supposed to go into my music, like my dance and my singing, I forgot all about that. Even when like I was doing rehearsals for the show I was just recently doing, I was like, oh, I kind of forgot I could dance. When I just got back into the singing about a year ago with some people that I found from like all over. We kind of met up on the singing app, and they just like put like a spark back in me as well. Like, you really got something. And I'm like, you think? It just it just reassured me, like, that just where you are at one point is not where you're going to be forever. When they say everything is temporary, I'm like, yeah, but you really got to believe that. But you also have to fight and do what you have to do to get out of that, whatever you can, because it can leave you stagnant for real and put you in a place where you don't want to be. So from where I was 2 years ago and as a child, definitely is not the same guy I'm going to be when I turn 34 this Friday. Lord,
that's right. God is doing amazing things. What I love, though, is that you took accountability.
Yes.
That is something that makes my eye twitch when it comes to people, us as individuals. I have a problem with those that walk around with a victim mentality.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, because life dealt me this hand, this is why. No.
You can always shuffle that deck, baby.
If anybody, and I guess for me too, I look at somebody like even my son, who's 19 and has single-handedly over the course of the last 5 years lost his father, his grandfather, my mom, all of the people that were influential and that he loved with everything in him. The only person that he has left is me, and not taken away from relatives, but the only person in his immediate that is left is me. Now, at that time, when he lost his dad, he was 15.
Yeah.
Okay, he was 15. He could have chose in that very moment to act a complete fool.
Yep.
Because his dad died 2 months after Grandpa died.
Yeah. And I'm reaching out to you like, and look, I'm about to get emotional now because I'm just like, why can't they get a break? It was, yeah. I
think that was everybody's question for us. And then when people would see us, it would blow their minds that like,
how much look, I'm sitting there like sometimes I'm like, okay, all right, let me get together because I'll be crying before, and then I get there and they're like, ah, I'm like, they're not even sad. Like,
I think because sometimes with grief, most people are also dealing with guilt. So the guilt sometimes overshadows the grief.
Yeah.
But when you live a different life and you really know that you lived a life where you love these people in life and they knew that you loved them in life, that there was nothing that you would not do for them when they were alive. You don't live with
that hurt and
the
that
guilt. If I would have, or maybe I should have came around more, maybe I should have called more, maybe I should have done more. That's not how we live our lives. Now, I'm never going to tell you that it don't hurt every single day.
Right.
But when you knew, especially for my mom, how like Mother's Day just passed.
Mm-hmm.
This is my second without her. Extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wake up crying. I was proud of myself. Like, okay, I got this now. Like 2 days prior to Mother's Day, I was a crybaby mess, right? But Mother's Day came and it's raining and I'm like, you know, I'm still going to spend time at the cemetery with my mom. I miss church. I was like, I need to, because the cemetery closes so early. I'm like, I'm going to see my mother.
Yeah.
And I got there and I started talking to her and I had to let her know, Mom, we're going to finish this conversation at home.
It's rain. Yeah. And it was like cold rain.
It was cold rain. I said,
I was like, Lord.
Mom, you know, your child is a germ and I get sick. You know, this conversation that we having out here, you know that I love you.
Right.
We're going to take this back to the house. We're going to resume this. We'll resume it in the kitchen like we normally would have. But I think that when you lose people, you have two options on how to handle it. Mm-hmm. You can either be mad, and I'm not going to never lie to you and tell you that I didn't go through my phase of being mad at God. Mm-hmm. Because I did. It was just like, I think I was more upset with him in regards to Nas than I was about what I lost personally.
Wow, okay.
It was just, as a mom, the worst thing in the world is not being able to fix things.
Yeah.
When your child is hurting, not being able to make it better.
Go away, yeah.
And I remember there were times after his dad died that he would just blurt out, he'd be like, because I want my dad, and it's like, and then how do you as a parent like not, you trying to G up like, you know, okay, we got this, and it's like, no, we really don't, because the one thing he wants is the one thing that I can give him. And that just goes back to faith. Not about being connected to a church per se, because that's great too. Fellowship is great, but you can go to church every Sunday and still not be connected. Yeah. And still not be connected. So when we experience these difficult seasons, it's important for us to, like you said, to remain grounded in him. Yeah. Man will deceive you.
Oh, yes.
Man will deceive you, and the spirit can get into anybody. So anybody can be used to become your distraction, to become your crutch, to become your downfall.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
But what I loved is the fact that you said accountability. Okay, well, these are the things that I did. And I was searching for things in the wrong places, not realizing that if I just refocused on him.
Oh, yeah. Like everything that you have will come back to you tenfold.
He'll handle the rest. These last 2 years especially have been not so kind.
Right.
Okay, your 2 years and my 2 years. Not been so kind, but I think that it was in that I really found self. Yeah. I was always Sheila's wife, Henry's grandchild, Myrtle's daughter, Nasir's mother. Yeah. And I had been running from God because I had these crutches, because I came from a family, a household of such love, where we supported each other. Yeah. If one didn't have, the other did. Yeah. And we were so in tune with each other that, you know, falling for me really wasn't an option. Right. Because I was in a household with people that I knew weren't going to allow me to fall. Yeah. But when God wants you, he has a way of removing everything around you to get you. And I think that in believing in him, how can I really be upset? You know, these are people, yes, you know, I miss them daily. I had such a bond with each of them. But when you trust God and you see where he's brought you from, I can be hurt and sad that they're not here. Like, it bothers me every day that my mom can't tune in and watch this.
See this,
that when I'm creating new teas for Inspire by Shika My'Chelle, she was my billboard. Yeah. You know, she's like, oh, I'm going to take that one. And she would, everything she owned, she didn't wait for me to give it to her. Every single t-shirt, she owned it. You know, and it's important that we stay focused on him, because the one thing that we're guaranteed is death.
Oh, yeah. That's the only thing we're guaranteed.
And those around us will go. But the thing that's going to sustain us is our relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that that's something that you poured back into your younger self.
Yeah.
Because people come and go.
Yeah.
And depending on, and I'm sure that you noticed in your down season, truth.
Yeah.
Because God has a way of revealing, especially in your down season, who people really are, what their intentions really are. And for me, I know that there were some friendships that I thought were rock solid.
Yeah.
And when I saw how I lost my mom, and these people that I spent all of this time with didn't even bother to show up at my house.
Right.
Didn't get a phone call. Like, you're nowhere to be found, but I was good enough to pour into you. I was good enough, to be there when times were moving well.
And they were there until all the chicken is gone. Until, until like, okay, yeah. And and then you realize, okay, it's been a year. Because even with me, like, and this was, like, my sister lived across the street, and I could have been there at any, drop of a dime. But even I, being so consumed with my own crap, I didn't realize until I was like, oh, wow, it's been almost a year since Myrtle. So it's like, I think even that kind of made me look at myself as well, because I think in the last 2 years when we going through stuff and you going through things as well, it even brought us closer together, because even being across the street, there were times I didn't see her for like months. And I'm like, well, she's right there, or I see her like going to the store, hey, how you doing? But then I would see, like, even her mom would be like, you better go see your sister, or you call your sister, cuz, and I'm like, okay, and not even now, not having Myrtle around to remind me of that, it puts it back in me like, check up on Shika. Make sure you call her, see if she's good. Make sure she's all right. Even just those relationships, period, that I think kind of I let fall by the wayside when I was going through things. It's like the real ones, not the artificial ones, because they were the people that were reaching out to me when I was just like, And then
that
there were people
stayed on your back.
Oh yeah, like number one here. And then there were people that just watched you fall and continue to let you fall. So, and those are the ones you have to really see the difference, like who's really there and who's not. And,
that's the unfortunate. I think that's the unfortunate part about people. But the blessing is that when you realize that you are God's, like seriously, that He has His hand and He's in control of everything. When He starts to show you little things about people, because you're so connected again, you no longer doubt it. You like, okay, you showed this to me.
You don't even get upset about it either. You almost kind of laugh at it, like, and more grateful than anything, because it's like, now I don't have to waste any more time with it. Now I don't have to waste any more energy or tears or just anything. It's easy for you to be like, okay.
I think for me, I pray often about clarity. I'm just like, once you reveal them to me, my prayer is not just for you to remove them, but to make me okay with the fact that you're removing them. Because we're so busy trying to hold on.
Yeah.
I know, but we've been friends for 12 years.
Like, and he spent so much time trying to defend that. Like, you can be friends with someone 15, 16, 17, 20 years and still not really know who that person is.
And they still not be beneficial to where it is that God is calling. And when they say everybody can't go, that doesn't mean, people want to make you feel guilty. And oh, you've changed. No, I haven't changed. Right. My vision just changed up. Yeah. Me as an individual has not changed.
Me.
I'm the same old person. I'm not Oprah.
Right.
I'm the same person. And I think that even though it took a little while for you to even contact me, I never felt any type of way about it, because our relationship has always just been a different relationship.
Yeah, always.
It's just always been different. It was like nothing that you did was ever going to sway how I felt about
exactly.
you. Like,
same here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a Facebook rant. It could be I'm like, oh, she's talking about me. But I'm gonna let her breathe for a minute.
No, but even today.
Oh yeah.
Viewers, let me tell you the truth about today. So because I know my brother, when I should have been getting prepared for the show, instead I was working on a whole nother show where I was going to sit here on this platform by myself having a conversation with you guys, because I knew that he was battling with himself still. And there was a chance that he was not going to show up today because I know my little brother. But because I know you,
I ain't do this.
But because I know you,
I missed my train. Like,
when I saw the text, I said, "Oh, he trying me."
And she responded back. I was like,
"You was."
I was like, yes or no.
He was looking for the out. but the devil is a liar.
Right.
God gave
She
him a
didn't give
sister
it to
that ain't even
her.
playing no games with him.
Yeah.
You're going to come, you're going to sit here on this platform, and we're going to have this real conversation because somebody is waiting for your testimony. Yeah. Somebody needs to hear that, okay, because I've been diagnosed, that does not mean that I'm stupid. Yeah. That doesn't mean that I can't learn. That doesn't mean that I'm unworthy of love. Stop it. Yeah. Stop it. And, you know, we as people have to be a little more kind to each other because we're so busy putting poison in each other's ears as opposed to lifting each other up. Yeah. On the ride here, I had a long conversation with my Uber driver. If you're watching, I thank you. Because she absolutely said, well, what's your Instagram name? What time does your show come on? And, you know, when you just, I'm one of those people that I don't understand why people want to talk to me all the time. Right. You know, sometimes I just want to be by myself and not be seen or not, you know, just be nothing. And I think it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm like, do I have tell me all your problems written on my forehead? Yo, for real. But my Uber driver, thank you, young lady, for she's like, you know, your show sounds interesting. And you do all of it, you know, and it was nice to just be able to have a conversation with people. So, you know, don't think that when God is calling you, that means that when other people change up, that's a reflection on you. Now, double check yourself. Have a mirror check because sometimes it is you. Yeah. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes you've bought into your own hype and you moving out of alignment. Oh, yes. But for myself and what I can say about this one right here, you know, there's absolute humility. It's not about us. We're just doing what it is that he called us to do. Yeah. You know, and I think that if we spend more time stepping into our purpose and focusing on what he called us to do, then we have less time to focus on what everybody else is doing. Yes, what the distractions are. Yeah. I can't be plotting on bringing you down if I'm so focused on my calling. Oh, yes. So we need to stop being worried about what the next person is doing. Support them. Yeah, if anything. That's one thing people don't do anymore, support. It doesn't make you any less by stepping up and supporting somebody else. And again, no one's taking anything from you either. Like, people get so consumed with feeling like they're going to lose or miss out on something because they help with someone else. No, you understand you blocking your own blessing by not doing that. Absolutely. You being given that love and that support and that push to someone else can really do something for you in ways that you never imagined. And like I said, once you stop hating or even stop, you know, thinking the wrong things or being negative or getting out your own way, you watch the way you prosper for real. And I think that's what it was even for me in these last, 2 years alone. Like, I would see some people, I'm like, oh, that's good for her. Oh, that's cute for him, Because you was in your own dark place. Exactly. But that did nothing for me. But got me in a darker place as opposed to once I started being genuinely happy for someone or I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I would start seeing, when I was coming out of my own crap, I was seeing how doors are opening for me and seeing my own blessings start to flourish again. So I'm like, okay, that's just what it is. You guys just stop being so, like they're poisonous. Stop throwing that kind of negative energy out there. You get way more by being a better person to yourself and others. So absolutely. The worst thing I could say about social media, when you're going through a down season, stay away from social media. Please. Because I remember, I hate using the D word because I feel like it gives it power. But, when you're going through I'll say a down season, and you're looking at social media and you're scrolling and you're like, they engaged, they just got married, she got a new job, they got a new car, and you just angry at the world because you see all of this great stuff that are happening to people around you. And if you just, like you said, get out of your own way and allow God to move in your life, things will be so much easier for you. Yeah. I don't know how much time we live. Let's see how much time we got left. So I need to tap into the
like 15 minutes.
Okay. I'm like, we live. So I need to make sure, because what we're never going to do on this show is forget to thank our amazing sponsor, who after last week's show absolutely contacted me and said that he is a Sharpie. So if you did not watch last week's show, you need to watch last week's show to understand the highlighter, the crayon, and the pencil, and the fact that our sponsor said he's a Sharpie. But we will have part 2 of that show next week, where God only knows where he's going to take us on next week. But I want to thank Allstate Insurance Company's agency owner, Jermaine Matthews. Please contact Mr. Matthews and his team for all your insurance needs at 516-941-1641. Again, you can contact them at 516-941-1641. So thank you again, Mr. Matthews. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you're enjoying your money is well spent. I'm glad that you are enjoying this show. That makes me feel good. But I'm going to ask you this question. I'm sorry. We're live and I'm so distracted. Again,
I think
we're live.
I think that was hurting you a little bit, so you good.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. But I noticed that I was like looking down, like, what is she doing? Playing with hair. I'm sorry. We can't sit still. It's why we bond. It's what we do. I've not been diagnosed, but
right. But I'm
an 80s baby.
Right. Yeah. I share my diagnosis.
I don't even know if they was diagnosing back then. I'm not a doctor, so don't judge me because I don't know. That's not my gift.
Field, yeah.
If you had to describe yourself in 3 to 5 words, what words would you use?
Let's see. Can't say dependable. No. I would say
Can't say that.
I'm working on that.
Honest, you could say.
Honest. I'll say I'm honest and I'm blessed. Talented. It's funny because I actually did kind of prepare for this one. I'm forgetting the words.
I told you don't prepare.
Yeah.
I told you speak from your heart.
Speaking heart, yeah. And I guess just those 3. What did I say? Honest, blessed, talented. Oh, that sounds so full of myself. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. You've earned the right to say talented.
Yeah, because for a while I doubted myself. Yeah,
you did.
It wasn't even until I auditioned for this commercial 2 years ago, and there were hundreds of people there. And even 2 years ago, I was like, because I'm a choreographer, but a lot of choreographers know this. We love to make up dances, but it's so hard to learn them. So we were like, it's like we'd be in the back of the class, like, let's have 5, 6, 7, 8 again. It's weird. We become it's a weird thing.
Because you're no longer able to be creative.
Right.
That's your creative outlet.
Exactly, yeah.
I know.
So out of these hundreds of people that came to this audition, I was actually in the top 10, and I didn't get picked for the commercial. My best friend did. And it kind of hit me then, okay, well, you still got it. You were nervous about the audition. You weren't really fully prepared. But seeing that you went through all of these people and you ended up in the top 10, whether I got picked or not, I was still like, okay, so all right, I guess I got a little talent. I guess I can do a little something. But, it's just sometimes you don't really know. I know what I can do, but you don't really know what limits you can go or what heights you can go to, by just going out there and just doing it. So,
well, I do know that I've never been able to compete with him in dancing. Now we might be able to sing together. Okay, that we can do. But dancing, maybe back in the Camp Gambia days.
Come on now.
Okay, are you that somebody?
Come on, Aaliyah.
In the Camp Gambia days, shout out to Camp Gambia. Yes. Rest in peace, Mr. Dave Bullard. But yeah, no, I knew early on this one right here. Yeah, no, that's not my anointing. That was not it.
She was just giving the radio, go under the hut. The kids waiting for you.
Do what you're doing.
See you at lunch.
That's your thing. I see when y'all want to sing.
Yeah.
Let me know. But dance is not it's just not my gift, and it's not my anointing. That's the oil is not flowing for me. Right. But I've always known you just being a creative being. And that's why for you, like you said, it's more difficult for you to learn a dance as opposed to teaching
one. Yeah.
It's the same thing for me with singing. If I didn't write the song, it's harder for me to learn a song that somebody else wrote because I feel like the emotion is off.
Yeah, because how you write is from your experience, your emotional input on it.
I'm going to belt that thing from the depths of my soul when it directly connects to me.
Yeah.
But when especially if it's a superficial type of song that has no real depth. I remember being in the studio before and somebody was like, give us less Aretha and give us more Britney. And I was like, who?
That ain't never my thing.
Britney. No shade to Britney.
Right.
But I struggle to be Brittany. That's just not who I am.
Right.
Pop was never gonna be.
Yeah. Even with certain tracks. I mean, we sat in the studio for hours one night. Like, are we gonna do this? Oh, she.
Oh, awesome. Okay. It's so funny how somebody sat here and said, let's just do the 30 minutes because I don't know if I'm going to be able to last long. 30, an hour goes fast when you're sitting with somebody that you just letting God move.
Yeah.
So I thank you for coming on the show. I'm hoping that you'll come back. I hope that you got the jitters out and you will come back and visit us. I'm hoping that you, the viewers, absolutely like this show. You enjoyed this show. It has been a month since we've been on air. Our first show debuted April 2nd. So we're still in the infancy stage. You won't see a guest every week. Sometimes you will see me. Please tap into our on Facebook. We have a group page, Inspired with Shika My'Chelle page. Tap into that. Give me some suggestions of things that you want to hear me talk about, different guests that you may want to see, things of that nature. But let's connect on a deeper level. But I thank you guys for viewing. I thank you for being a part of this new thing that God is doing in my life. I do not take it for granted. I thank you every single week for pouring into me as I attempt to pour into you. Thank my sponsor, Mr. Matthews from Allstate. And again, I thank my engineer over there, my sister behind the desk, Miss Michelle Monique. But I thank you for coming out and spending this time with me.
Thank you for having me. And I'm proud of you, and I'm so happy for what you're doing with this show, for real. Like, if she could tell me, watch the show, you'll see what it entails. I'm like, okay. When I finally sat down and watched it, I was like, I get it. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll make the show. I can do it. I realized what it was. So
you thought it was a little different.
You was like, I'm not stiff. So
I mean, like,
and I'm like, I know.
What would I bring to the table? Like, how could I sit here and be like, well, I cannot.
Right.
Well, this is what's gonna happen on today. No, I've got too much personality to sit and I thank God for the amazing guests that have come on this show because we kind of just balance off of each other, and it's a blessing to be around people that support you, that are celebrating with you, but that are kingdom kids. They are, you know, and if I see you stealing, I'm suing you. Because I'm telling you, we got the Kingdom Kid t-shirts coming up soon coming for you. But I thank you guys for tuning in and just supporting. So we are going to end this show as promised last week with Jared All-Star's single from his Water and Wine album. I don't remember what the title was. Jesus? It wasn't Jesus. It wasn't Jesus. But All I Have Is Faith. Yes. We're going to end the show with Jared All-Star's All I Have Is Faith in his Water and Wine album. If you do not have it,
all I have is faith now. That's all I know.
Born in the hood, but raised in the church. Created in his image, but made from the dirt.
Oh, yeah,
I used to think the Lord only came on the first. You're gonna need some action if faith gonna work. I don't need a soapbox, I want a stage. So when the hope stops, I want it played. I don't want to make a splash, I want to wave. I ain't ever want the cash, Lord, I want the fame. Oh, give a little aspiration. I know the waiting's aggravating. There's no debating, frustrating, contemplating on what it's taking. Temptation, avoiding Satan, the motivation. Now it's lacking. How this happened? I was in church, should be pastoring, now I'm trapping. I wasn't backsliding, I was moonwalking. In my church socks, take the shoes off.
I know. They want me to stay now. All I have is faith now. That's all I know. They want me to stay down. All I have is faith now. That's all I know.
Born in the hood, but raised in the church. Think my notebook was the Bible, some praise in a verse. We're still praying for the better. Remember the worst. Sipping on water and wine. Don't wanna remember the thirst. I used to rap just to prove something. Now I make music just to move something. I had more bars than a little bit. Can make your favorite rapper sound illiterate. Part of me don't mean to sound honorable. Most of these rappers got ghosts, your focus on pottery. I honestly feel I'm fulfilling a prophecy. Subconsciously, constantly faced with hypocrisy. Through modesty,